Do you want your Shopify store to generate more sales? Well, probably the best way to make that come true is to optimize it for ranking in search engines. The search traffic is a real gem for any e-commerce website owner, as it's free, consistent, and more importantly, highly convertible, since people who enter specific search queries are already well aware of what they're looking for. So in today's video, I'm gonna show you step by step how to optimize your Shopify store for better search ranking, and thereby start driving additional customers and sales. If you don't know me yet, my name is Igor, and on this channel I share helpful content for digital marketers and business owners, so consider subscribing if you have a goal to succeed online. Without further ado, let's begin. So, if you've clicked on this video, I believe that you already have a Shopify account. If it's not the case, you can get started with Shopify by following the link in the description down below. Anyway, every website search engine optimization starts from the technical part, also known as technical SEO. And I have great news, Shopify is quite well technically optimized for search engines by default. Namely, it comes with such essential things as caching, minification, image compression, structured data markup, and many more. However, there are still a couple of things we should take care of. And the very first thing I recommend you do after switching from a trial period to one of the Shopify plans and publishing your website is to add it to Google Search Console. First of all, it allows Google to find out about your website's existence much faster, crawl its pages, and properly understand the structure. Secondly, Search Console gives you a lot of wealth information about your site's health and performance, so it's a good idea to check it out from time to time. With that being said, let's take a look at how to add your website to it. The very first step is to go over to search.google.com/search console. You can find the link to it in the description down below. Once on the site, click the Get Started Now button. Then you will be asked about your property type. We are gonna add a website, not just a domain, so copy and paste your website's full URL, including HTTPS, into the right field and click Continue. Next, go down to Other verification methods and choose the HTML tag. Copy this code to the clipboard and go over to your Shopify store dashboard. Once you're there, go to Online Store Themes. Click on the drop-down menu next to your current theme's name and select the Edit Code option. Then click Theme.liquid under the Layout folder. Find the opening HTML head tag and paste the Google verification code directly below it. Once done, click Save, go back to Google Search Console and press Verify. That's it, you've just successfully added your Shopify store to Google Search Console. I recommend you come here from time to time just to make sure that your site is doing okay and it doesn't have any indexing issues like missing pages, broken links, and so on. The next thing we need to take care of is a sitemap. Basically, this is an XML file that contains a list of all the website's pages. The sitemap availability ensures that your online store can be easily crawled and indexed by search engines without missing any single page. Besides, as your website submits a new version of sitemap each time you add a new page, it allows Google to notice it and add it to search results immediately. Even though Shopify automatically generates a sitemap file, we still need to add it to Google Search Console ourselves, and right now I'm going to show you how to do it. Open Google Search Console and navigate to the sitemap section in the left panel. Here you can submit a new sitemap and check the status of existing ones. As I already said, Shopify automatically generates a sitemap file containing all your store's pages. This file is located in the root directory of your domain, so to add it, just type sitemap.xml next to your website's domain name and click Submit. That's it, you don't have to take any additional actions. Now the URLs of all new pages you create will be immediately added to this file and submitted to Google, ensuring the fastest product's discoverability. All effort, time and money invested in digital marketing hardly makes sense without proper traffic analytics. If you have no clue where your online store visitors come from and which search queries they are using, the scaling of your business is barely possible. Thankfully, Shopify has seamless integration with Google Analytics, the most powerful and comprehensive tool for traffic analysis. So the first step that we wanna do is to sign up for Google Analytics. To do so, type analytics.google.com in your browser's address tab or follow the link in the description down below. Once on the site, click Start Measuring. Come up with your account name and press Next. Now here is an important step. By default, Google creates Google Analytics 4 kind of property, which is not compatible with Shopify. So what we wanna do is to create a universal analytics property, which can be found after clicking on the Show Advanced Options button. Switch the toggle on the right and it will show you a field where you want to type your Shopify store's URL. Then tick the Create a Universal Analytics Property Only box and press Next. Check the information relevant to your business and click Create. After you accept the Terms of Service agreement, you will be taken to the Google Analytics dashboard. Copy the code inside the Global Site Tag field and go over to your Shopify store dashboard. Once you're here, click the Online Store and navigate to Preferences. Find the Google Analytics field, paste the code you copied earlier and save the changes. Next, we also want to turn on the Enhanced E-commerce Tracking. Enabling this feature allows Google Analytics to receive your store's transaction and revenue data, thereby providing you with the possibility to generate comprehensive traffic reports and adjust your marketing strategy. In layman's terms, it means that you will be able to figure out which traffic sources are the most profitable for your store, which keywords brought you the most amount of targeted visitors, and many more. So, to enable it, tick the appropriate checkbox and press Save. Then go back to Google Analytics, click Admin and find e-commerce settings in the View column. Turn on the Enable Enhanced E-commerce Reporting toggle and don't forget to save the changes. That's it, now you'll be getting the most comprehensive reports on your store's traffic. Now we're moving on to one of the most important parts of technical SEO, and at the same time one of the crucial factors in search engine rankings, which is the website's loading speed. If your site loads for more than a second or even longer, it will inevitably lead to a loss of visitors and a subsequent decline in search results. A website's loading speed optimization process requires quite a lot of specific knowledge and might be hard for non-tech-savvy people. Thankfully, Shopify comes with the essential loading speed optimization techniques, as CDN, caching, minification, and image compression out of the box. However, there are some particular situations where you may still encounter a slowdown in website loading speed. The first and probably most common of them is uploading and using unoptimized product images. The thing is, every time a visitor opens a page, they are essentially downloading the files it consists of to their computer, and the greater the file's weight, the slower the page will load. This is especially true for e-commerce websites, as a product page can easily contain a set of high-quality images that weigh quite a lot. Although Shopify has an image compression feature, frankly speaking, it leaves a lot to be desired, and I do recommend you compress images yourself for more effectiveness. Let me show you the fastest and most effective way to do so. For that purpose, we're going to be using an online service called tinypng.com. As usual, you can find the link to it in the description below. TinyPNG allows you to reduce the size of your images up to 3 times with just a few clicks. But the best thing is there is a barely noticeable loss of quality between the original and compressed images. It means that your website pages will load 3 times faster, and nobody will ever figure out that your images were compressed. Without further ado, let's see how it works. So once you get to the website, click on the upload icon and choose the images you want to compress. You can upload up to 20 images in a row, which is convenient for people who need to upload plenty of product images. After the uploading is finished, you will see how much less your images weigh now. The typical difference is from 2 to 3 times, which is a really great result. To download all the images at once, press the appropriate button. I also can't help but mention that there are Shopify apps for image compression. Of course, it's much more convenient to get automatically compressed images without any additional steps. But the thing is that most of these apps either require a premium plan or have significant restrictions in the free version. So it's up to you what to use, but I'd suggest sticking with TinyPNG. Another popular reason why your Shopify store may load slower than it's supposed to be is the use of third-party themes. The thing is, each theme has its own set of code and graphic elements, and it can drastically impact your website's performance. Unfortunately, not every theme developer cares about loading speed optimization, so if it's your case, probably the best solution here is to switch to one of the default Shopify themes. On top of that, a decrease in website loading speed can be triggered by installing too many applications, since each of them requires additional time to load. So try to install only those apps that you use on a daily basis. But how to figure whether your site is loading fast enough? Well, Shopify provides a specialized tool for this purpose, and we are going to take a look at it right now. First, you want to go to your Shopify dashboard and then go over to the Themes tab under Online Store. Here you will find the appropriate section, where you can see your website speed score, view a detailed report on why your site got that score, and what steps you can take to improve it. The report also contains additional information, such as which pages were analyzed and how your score compares to similar Shopify stores. This section is only active if you have a Shopify Premium plan, and unfortunately I don't have it at the moment of making this video, so I can't show you exactly how the report looks. However, this is not actually a big deal, since the Shopify store speed score is based on a weighted average of the Google Lighthouse performance scores of the most important pages of your site. That being said, we can just take a look at the Lighthouse performance score instead, as it will show pretty much the same as we would have seen in Shopify store speed report. So here is the homepage of my Shopify store. Please pay attention that every page on your website is going to have an individual score depending on its content. So, for example, if your homepage got a high performance score, it doesn't mean that your product page will do the same. Anyway, let me quickly generate a Lighthouse report so we can just see what my homepage performance score is. As you can see, it's quite close to 90, which could be considered as a great result. My homepage got such a high score because I use one of the default Shopify themes and compress all uploaded product images. Below the performance score, you will find the metrics that make up the score, along with their descriptions. If you scroll the report even further, you will see suggestions by following which you can improve your performance score. I know that it might be overwhelming for non-tech savvy people. So, if your homepage and especially product page has a low score and loads for more than a second, then I do recommend you hire a Shopify expert to help you with this issue, as right now you are losing potential clients. I also can't help but mention that in the vast majority of cases, if you don't use third-party themes, don't install tons of apps and always compress your images, you shouldn't have to worry about your website's loading speed, as it's going to be pretty fast. And the last but not least thing related to technical SEO we have to take care of is the robots.txt file. By editing this file, you can allow or disallow specific URLs from being crawled, add rules for certain crawlers and so on. Shopify has an automatically generated robots.txt, which is optimized for SEO by default and great for most cases. However, if one day you decide to expel a particular page, product or category from search results, so that visitors can't access it from search engines, it's going to be helpful to learn where you can find robots.txt and how to make changes to this file. Even though Shopify doesn't allow you to fully edit robots.txt, you are still free to add any URLs to it, which is actually more than enough. To do that, from your Shopify admin, go to Online Store Themes. Press Actions next to your theme name and choose Edit Code from the drop-down menu. Click Add a new template and select robots.txt at the very bottom of the drop-down menu. So, here is the robots.txt editor, where you can add new rules for web crawlers. To ask search engines not to index a specific page and thus remove it from the search results, you want to add the following code. I will add this code to the description of this video, so that you can just copy it and edit to fit your needs. Now let's assume we are gonna remove a particular page from the search results. How can we do this? Well, we simply need to add the URL of this page next to the disallow directive, like that. If you want to disallow indexing of more than one page, simply copy and paste the disallow directive under the first one. Don't forget to save the changes once done. As we've got the technical part sorted out, it's a perfect time to proceed to on-page SEO, a set of measures that apply to specific pages, not the entire website. By and large, on-page SEO can be divided into two parts, adding keywords and internal linking. Let's break everything down in order. Keywords are the search queries that people use when searching for your products or services. Adding them to a product page is crucial and allows search engines to recognize what the page consists of and what keyword phrases it should be ranked for. In this video we are not going to dive deep into keyword research, as it's a vast and quite sophisticated topic that requires a separate in-depth tutorial. If you'd be interested in watching it, please let me know in the comments below and I will gladly make it. As for now, let's take a look at the Shopify products page and figure out where we can place keywords and how to do it properly. Essentially, there are 4 places on a product page where you can put keywords: title, description, and the alt tag of images. First comes the title. That's not just the name of your product as you might be thinking. The information within this field goes into the title HTML meta tag, which search engines use to display the title of your page snippet in search results. It's vital to make the title relevant to the page content, because it directly depends on what keywords it will rank for. Besides, you wanna put into the title as many relevant keywords as possible, because it increases the chances of this page being shown in search results on multiple search queries. Make sure you don't turn the title into a plain list of keywords though. You want it to look natural, as keyword stuffing can be considered by search engines as an attempt of manipulation and lead your website to get penalized. Apart from that, it's barely possible to make one page rank for multiple keywords due to the competition. I know that all of that may sound a bit overwhelming if you're just doing your first steps in SEO, but thankfully keyword optimization is actually pretty basic when it comes to product pages. The thing is, probably the best possible title for a product page is just its most comprehensive description. For example, if you sell some kind of green tea, you want to make your product title not just a green tea, but organic jasmine green tea bags. That way, you provide potential visitors with more details about the product, while increasing its chances to be ranked for such phrases as green tea, organic green tea, jasmine green tea bags, and so on. The same goes for the product's description. Aim to make it as comprehensive as possible to engage your customers, and don't forget to put the keywords. Also, despite Shopify by default using product title and description as the corresponding page meta tags, you are free to edit them separately. To do so, scroll the page down to the very bottom and click Edit Website SEO. Here you can edit the page title and description meta tags without changing the title and description of the product itself. Pay attention that the title and description length is limited to 70 and 320 characters respectively. Another place where you can put keywords is the image file names and their alt tags. Using descriptive image file names and filling the alt tags makes it easier for search engines to recognize what is in the image and by which keywords it should be ranked. You can fill out the alt tag after you upload an image. After we figured out where to place keywords on product pages, you also want to fill out the title and description for your homepage. To do so, go to the Settings tab in the Online Store section. A typical business website homepage title consists of the business name and a brief list of services or products it offers. The same goes for description. Briefly describe what you're selling and why people should buy your products. Once done, don't forget to save the changes. As we figured out the importance of keywords, there is another thing about which we should take care of, and this is internal linking. As the name suggests, an internal link is when one page on your site links to another page on your site. In general, internal links can be divided into contextual and navigational ones, where contextual links are placed within a text and navigational links are placed inside the menu. Contextual links are mainly used inside long-read content, like informational articles, news, and so on, and quite a rare case for online stores, unless they have a company blog. That is why in this tutorial we will focus specifically on internal navigational links, as it's going to be most beneficial. So, first of all, you want to follow a logical hierarchy of categories and keep URLs readable and straightforward. It guarantees that visitors can easily navigate your store, improves behavioral factors, and allows search engines to understand the website structure clearly. Then, another thing that you want to keep in mind while planning your website's navigation is the so-called 3-click rule, which says that the visitors should be able to reach any website's page with no more than 3 clicks. This approach allows you to reduce the number of visitors who simply couldn't find on your site what they came for, as well as additionally boost sales. So, this video has come to an end. I hope it was helpful and you learned something new. If you want more in-depth tutorials and walkthroughs related to digital marketing and e-commerce, stay tuned on my channel because I'll be making more of this. Have a nice day and see you next time. Bye!